recording. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Shenbo Zhang. I'm the Secretary General of Oregon China Council, and welcome all the audiences that joined this year's cross-border e-commerce training. So today we're very happy to have our Alibaba Tmall Global team as one of the largest cross-border e-commerce platforms in the world to join us and give us the insights, the upcoming, the new programs that's really tailored it for the emergent and niche brands, as many of our Oregon brands I like. And also, it's very honored to have Aaron Jensen, our business recruitment officer from Business Oregon, which is our Oregon State Department of Commerce, to give his understanding and his views and our agency's views on what will be the best to support our emerging and small to medium-sized business from the e-commerce side, as well as the supportive programs for our businesses. And last but not least, we also have our Kara Toronto, the president and the auxiliary director of our Oregon Entrepreneur Network, which is very influenced networks in our Oregon's business community. And she's coming with all the experience and the first-handed resources, knowledge about why the cross-border e-commerce will be a very supportive and beneficial program for some of our brands here in Oregon. So the agenda for today we'll start with Aaron first, and then to Kara, and then we'll move to Fiona giving us the full trainings. And I think from the audience, I also see we have some good friends from our other state agencies, Oregon Department of Agricultural, and some other very good friends that represents different brands, different industry on Oregon. Welcome, you guys. Okay, so I'll pass the mic to Aaron first. And after Aaron and Kara introduce, I will give an introduction about Oregon China Council, and then I'll pass it to Fiona. So Aaron, please go ahead.
All right, Shanbo, thank you so much. I'd like to thank all the organizers of this event. Thank you to Shanbo and the Oregon China Council for creating this training program and giving Business Oregon the chance to speak and be here. I'd also like to thank Alibaba for their support in China, and it's also great to meet and work with Kara from the Oregon Entrepreneurs Network. My name is Aaron Jensen, and I work, as Shanbo explained, for the Oregon Business Development Department, or Business Oregon, as we like to be known. We are the economic development agency for the U.S. state of Oregon. The vision of Business Oregon is to increase prosperity for all Oregonians. We do this as a government agency that can facilitate and create the conditions for a stronger economy through investing in and promoting Oregon businesses, communities, and entrepreneurs. Of the many divisions of Business Oregon, I work in global trade and recruitment. We seek to promote Oregon products overseas and market Oregon as a location for foreign direct investment. And I hope that some of the folks joining have had the opportunity to take advantage of some of our programs to assist with exports. Oregon is open to business, and we have a long history of engaging with China. Business Oregon has a long-standing relationship with the Oregon China Council, having worked together to strengthen economic ties and opportunities between Oregon and China for several decades. There are many activities and ties between Oregon businesses and China, and we hope to see increased economic engagement. People-to-people ties are a fundamental part of all good relationships, and the many Oregonians of Chinese descent are an important part of our community. Moving to the specific topic, e-commerce and training for Oregon brands, Business Oregon is excited to participate in this activity as this presents an additional opportunity for Oregon businesses to sell into the Chinese market and make those important connections that can allow them to succeed in their exports. So thank you for the opportunity to speak here today. I wish you all well in your e-commerce business endeavors and in your participation in this seminar. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you. Thank you so much. So Kara, please.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to reiterate and say thank you so much for having me. I am going to sit in this really interesting position in between Aaron and Fiona, where the Oregon Entrepreneurs Network, as a 501c3 nonprofit, is also committed to the local posterity of the state. And we do that by supporting early stage entrepreneurs across a variety of industries. And why I was really excited to be here today is I am familiar with Jack Ma's story and searching the internet for Chinese beer. And that is a really compelling way to start a business, very disruptive, but it also aligns really well with one of the industry segments that OEN supports, which is our food and beverage sector. So it is not limited at beer, but wine and anything else that you can imagine. And what I love about that origin story for Alibaba is that so many of our, and there's my dog losing his mind, sorry about that. Okay, we're going to get some support. We have all those wonderful products that are produced here, very specifically to Oregon, that an e-commerce and international strategy would be wonderful for our brands to grow. And so as we sit here in our function of supporting entrepreneurs and helping them seek outside investment and financing, we also really encourage them to build their business themselves through growth and sustainable scaling, where they're making revenue. And we view this as an opportunity to reach out beyond the borders of not just our state, but the country. And there was one other thing I was going to add before I got distracted by my dog. Oh, yes. As Oregon, and I'm sure my ODA friends will agree, is a wonderful place to grow products. There is also the ability to influence some of what we grow and make here to serve other markets around the world. And we're seeing that currently happen in the Mid-Willamette Valley. And so we are here to support all of those entrepreneurs that are looking to grow their business outside of these borders. And we hope you enjoyed this training today. And thank you so much for having me. Sorry for the dog disruption.
Thank you, Kara. So I will give an introduction about Oregon China Council first, as well as the background and history of the cross-border e-commerce training. So Oregon China Council is a 501c3 not-for-profit organization that's based in Oregon. And we have all of our members, including 4 senators of the states, all volunteers. So we all come from different professional, different backgrounds. And my background is from angel investments. So that's why I get to know Kara, and I'm very passionate about supporting our emerging brands, our entrepreneurs from the great state. So Oregon China Council, the main idea is we are the premium platform for Oregon to connect with China. Since we established about 20 years ago, which next year will be our 20th anniversary. So we've been really focused on how we can connect the Oregons with our sister states, which is Fujian province and Tianjin in China, through various of the sectors, that including education, tourism, trade, and economic development, and as well as climate and sustainability sectors. So before the COVID, we have our traditions. The first half of the year always will host international conference here in Oregon, and always invite our friends, delegations from China, from sister states, to come and come visit. And we have in-depth discussion in all the topics that I just shared. And usually the second half of the year, we'll have missions that led by Oregon state leaders, Secretary of State, governors, and with our Oregon businesses from all sizes to visit our sister states in China. as well as attending trade promotion conferences, for example, the China International Import Expo, as well as many of the national level trade promotion events. For example, in the seafood and fishery, in the nuts products industries, sporting goods. For instance, this year, I actually just came back from our first goodwill mission to China after both sides opened. The Oregon delegations were in China at the same time as the California Governor Newsom's delegation, and we were hosted by the same organization, the China Friendship Organization Association in China, which really setting the California and Oregon are the pioneers to break through and support the subnational U.S. and China relations, and which is really benefiting the world and the people on both sides. So one of the really the most impressive take from this trip was at the time when I at the China International Import Expo. I see how the energies have been growing up for not only the Chinese side, but all the visitors from different countries. And many of them are in the emerging brands and in the niche brands market. So really all the stories I heard from how they grow, it's really through the benefits of relying on the cross-border e-commerce, which many of them sharing their first start, how they started using the Alibaba platforms. Doesn't matter it's the Alibaba B2B or the Tmall, the global Tmall, B2C platforms. So this really the third year of the cross-border e-commerce training. And how we get started was once we're still in the pandemic, we were trying to create programs that can eventually support our Oregon brands to have higher profile in a global setting, especially in China. And we were trying to look for, okay, as our many of our brands, doesn't matter it's in the sporting goods industry or the food and beverage, we are really producing the premium product categories, which is very different than the mass-produced products categories. So it's really relies on how we can find the best, the most fitted platform and channels to reach out to the Chinese market, as well as to attract the traffics, able to get our Oregon brands exposures to able to showcase the quality of Oregon products. So very luckily, the first year we had a support from Alibaba Tmall Global at that time. And we learned so much about the overseas warehouse programs. And since then, we've been educating the market about the great programs Alibaba Tmall Global has. And this year is very exciting. We heard from the Tmall Global team, Fiona, that we are actually able to working with brands, has a program called the mini store program, which will serve even smaller or emerging brands that's wanting to testing out the market first. It's a much better model, and I will leave that to Fiona to introduce later. And another great updates from the Tmall Global is they will start selling wine. So I think that will really get our Oregon Pinot Noir into the game. And very interestingly, this time when I was in China, many more wine drinkers there already know a lot about Pinot Noir and Oregon Pinot Noir there. So I think the good things that we sort of passed the very first stage of introducing the red wine product. Now you see there are different categories, different fans for different categories. that's really chasing for the quality of the product. So which is I'm very excited about at the right timing with the right channels and partners from the community. And I hope this year's with this new two new updates, we're able to help more organ brands to tap into China. So I will pass the mic to Fiona, and very exciting to hear all the great programs for our Tmall team. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Shambo. Yeah, thank you again for inviting me here. And I'm Fiona. I'm based in Los Angeles, so I'm local, and all the brands can reach out to me very directly. And I've been working with hundreds of brands to help them to utilize Alibaba platform to serve as the first step into China market. And hope that through today's presentation, you can have a better understanding about China e-commerce or China cross-border e-commerce and what Tmall under Alibaba Group can bring to B2C e-commerce. Okay, let me share my screen here. All right. So before I start, I want to talk a little bit about Tmall. So Tmall is the largest B2C e-commerce platform under Alibaba Group. So there are different business units under Alibaba. So for example, like Alibaba.com is mainly for B2B, and then Tmall is mainly for B2C cross-border e-commerce. And today I would like to talk more about the China opportunity, as well as share some of the consumer trends that we have been seeing in the past few years, especially after the pandemic. A lot has changed because of that pandemic. All right, so there are three parts in today's intro. The first part will be the China market opportunity, and then I'll share the consumer trends, and then will be an overview of Tmall Global and what we can bring to help the brands or merchants into China market. Okay. China is the second largest consumer market in the world, and total retail sales in 2022 has already reached about 640 billion US dollar for retail sales of consumer goods. So there is a very big opportunity in China market. It is a very like complicated market over there, but I hope that by listening to this presentation, you can have a better idea of how you can utilize our tools to be part of this huge market. Consumption in China is driven by rapid growth of import market. So we divide the import market by three different channels. And the annual compound annual growth in the past 8 years has shown different like growth rate, and the most important part or the fastest growth is for our cross-border e-commerce. So when we talk about cross-border e-commerce, it means that the brands do not need to change their packaging at all, and they do not need to comply with Chinese customs regulations or CFDA. The products can just ship as they are. So that's a lot easier for many of the overseas brands to utilize this cross-border e-commerce opportunity to test out China market, especially for like wellness brands, for cosmetics, when they may have some ingredients that are not allowed by Chinese customs, or that Chinese customs will do like animal testing on some of the cosmetics brand. So by utilizing cross-border e-commerce, you do not have to do all that. So it's a relatively easier way, and that's why it's growing the fastest among all three channels. And I want to talk a little bit about the difference between Tmall Global and Tmall. Some of the friends here may have heard about Tmall before. So Tmall is mainly tailored for brands that has already having a presence in China. It's either established in China or either registered their trademark and has already had inventories in China. So they can just go to Tmall.com directly for the e-commerce channel. So in order to do that, the brands will have to have a legal entity in mainland China and also a bank account associated with that like legal entity, and all the payment will be in RMB, and you will have, of course, have your trademark registered in China, and your inventories are already sitting in local Chinese warehouse. But for Tmall Global, it's mainly tailored for overseas brand or for any brand that hasn't had any prior sales in China yet. So we will for those brands, we will utilize Tmall Global to do cross-border e-commerce on the platform. So you don't need to actually have a company in China or to open any bank account in mainland China. We can just use your company of country of origin, and all the transactions will be in your home currency, and for US, it's of course US dollar. And we don't require you to have your trademark registered in China, but we strongly recommend you to do so. But as long as you have your trademark registered in US, we are ready to go. And all the inventories will be shipped to a bonded warehouse in China in terms of go to any local Chinese market. So for the bonded warehouse, what's the difference between bonded warehouse and a regular one is that by going into the bonded warehouse, you are enjoying all the benefit from cross-border e-commerce, as I mentioned earlier, that you don't need to actually change packaging or comply with any regulations. And another important fact is that by doing cross-border, you don't actually have to pay the tariff duty. All you need to cover is the sales tax. So that's a very great cost-saving like opportunity that the government gives for cross-border e-commerce in order to promote that. So all the inventories will be shipping from overseas to the bonded warehouse in China in anticipation for future orders. So Tmall Global, the cross-border e-commerce channel, will be the one that's best fit for many of the US brands here, either for SME brands or for new emerging brands that haven't had anything yet in China. So Tmall Global will be the one that you will go to. This is a little a short video that shows how do Chinese consumers shop for cross-border products online.
How do you shop for products from brands that are not available locally? It usually involves navigating confusing foreign websites and waiting for months for your order to arrive, or hanging on until your next trip abroad. In China, consumers have an insatiable demand for high-quality products from overseas. That's why cross-border e-commerce has become its own shopping channel. All consumers have to do is to go to cross-border e-commerce platforms where they'll find a smorgasbord of international products, all in one place. How does that work? I'm Alizila's Jing Wang. Let me take you inside the world of China's online shopping. Think of cross-border shopping as browsing the world's shelves. Enter Tmall Global, Alibaba's destination for 29,000 international brands. Besides the fun of discovering new products and easily adding them to your shopping cart, Tmall Global can deliver these products to Chinese consumers fast. How is that possible? Well, many of these international products are already sitting in bonded warehouses across China, where they're ready to clear customs and ship to consumer within days. On Tmall Global, Mom, baby, and beauty products are usually the most popular categories in cross-border shopping. But suppose shoppers don't know exactly what they're looking for. In that case, Chinese consumers can discover the latest trends across different categories, from fashion, home decor, and specialty food through Tmall Global's curated experiences. Here, I'm at Tmall Global's Country Pavilion channel, taking a shopping tour around the world. From North America to Europe to Asia, discovering the finest local products. For unique fashion pieces from California, Revolve is my go-to place. Here, I'm browsing the social media feed about a California-style swimwear within Revolve's Tmall Global store. I can purchase the item immediately without leaving this page. I was browsing a consumer's unboxing video when I discovered GHD's hair straighteners from the UK. When I was checking out the new product launch channel called Heybox, I found this, the latest camera from Japan. Sometimes I can take a shopping tour overseas, such as this Japanese vintage luxury shop via live streaming. I can ask the host to show me the pieces I'm interested in without getting on a plane. For whiskey connoisseurs, there is even a dedicated channel to learn about Japanese whiskey culture. You do not have to wait until the next trip to Japan. You can have your drink of choice shipped to you within a few days. With abundant selections and timely delivery, Alibaba's Tmall Global is bringing a world of goods to Chinese consumers at home.
All right, let's go to the next one. So the next one, so from the video, we can show definitely like what product selections that we are offering to Chinese consumers. And the second part is what I would like to share about the consumer trends. So in the video, it mentions that cosmetics and like baby and mother categories are popular in China market, but it has changed very significantly post-pandemic. Some of the facts or statistics that I would like to share first. So by 2030, we expect that the middle class will grow another 68%. So there will be people with more money to spend on the platform, and they are willing to buy high quality products from overseas to help themselves or to help their family. And they are optimistic and ready to spend. So they are the main consumer base that we have on the platform. And they are the ones to browse through all the platform channels to learn more about the product details, to get educated or to get introduced on new products, new brands from overseas. And also, cross-border e-commerce is supported by Chinese government. So we can have more cross-border e-commerce pilot zones. So in one of the bonded warehouse, the workers over there can even repackage for many of the wellness brands to make a customized little pack for consumers and to save a lot of the overseas cost for those brands, as they can just ship in bulk into the bonded warehouse and have the Chinese personnel in the warehouse to help them repack into the individual pack. And also there are new products that will be added to cross-border e-commerce retail import list. So as Shambo mentioned earlier, wine, we can do wine right now. Currently, we still cannot do any meat or egg, but we can do all shelf-ready, shelf-stable products from overseas right now. And we also have a much more streamlined product return process. Before, it's hard to get the inventories out of the bonded warehouse, but now we have a much like strict SOP to follow in order to get the product returned back to the country of origin. And there's something about the consumers that we have. So we can see that after the pandemic, our consumers can be divided into 3 categories. The first is Gen Z. They are born after 1995. They are young and they are enjoying their life and they want to have fun. So they explore the platform for new cool stuff and are willing to pay extra for premium packaging. And they also would like to learn what's happening around the world, and they would like to try different consumer electronics with cutting edge technology. So new products, new stuff are their go-to products on a daily basis. And we also have consumers that are refined and living by themselves, or they will just living by themselves and have a pet with them. So they are more self-conscious and would like to try out different health products for themselves, for their well-being, as well as their pets. So they may focus more on themselves and to try different stuff that way. And also for the third consumers, that they probably live in a third or fourth tier cities. They may not have that much experience to travel to other countries to actually physically see all those brands and the products. So they will be the one to go to Tmall Global in order to learn more about what's happening in this world. They want to be catch up to date for what's happening and willing to spend more to enjoy the lifestyle. Okay, the third part is what I'd like to share about Tmall Global and what different programs we have to offer to small and medium brands or emerging brands to help them go to Chinese market very smoothly. So Tmall Global is the leading cross-border e-commerce platform in China, and it's growing faster than the cross-border market growth in a whole. And we are leading customs volumes in 8 years, and we're still the #1 cross-border e-commerce channel in China. And when people talk about cross-border, when they talk about buying something directly from overseas, Tmall Global is their first mention out of all the other competitors. And currently we have more than 35,000 brands from all over the world. And out of that, by the end of 2022, we have more than 8,000 US brands and covering all those different categories. So other than US, we have more than 9 different countries and regions, and we have team in other continents as well to help work with the brands and to bring back to Chinese market. Okay, we have been seeing a growth on the premium users. So when we talk about premium users, so they actually pay a monthly fee to be the user and enjoy all those benefits from Tmall Global. And also 71% of our consumers are female. So females are always like to shop online and to use their mobile phones and like anywhere to do the shopping. And 67% out of all the consumers are Gen Z. So they are around they're not 30 yet, so they are about 18 to 26 years old. They're young and they're willing to explore the world. Although male is not that much of a consumer base, but they are growing really fast in the past few years. And we have been seeing the growth on men's products on the platform. So more and more brands from that category is also launching on Tmall Global. So our mission is to provide a lot of the new discovery to our consumers, and we want to provide new trends, new brands, new products for our consumer. So it's not just whenever they want something they can find on Tmall Global. We also want to educate the consumers what's actually going on. We want to incubate or to introduce new brands to them and to let them know what's going on and what are the benefits of all those new brands, new ingredients, either from wellness brands or from clean beauty concepts. What are those ingredients can do for their health, for their skin? So it's not just what they want, but we want to educate them for new stuff. And we want to provide excellent service as well. We want to be responsive to their questions. So once you get on board to Tmall Global, you will get first-hand consumer feedbacks. So they will let you know what they like or dislike from the products, and you can analyze their shopping behaviors to let you know more, or to make data-driven your strategy on your product development. Probably that you will want to do something just tailored for Chinese consumers. And we also want to provide a closed ecosystem for the consumer, so that's just a one-stop shop for everything that they need in their lives. So that's our goal for Tmall Global. We do provide very good infrastructure for the merchants and for the brands. We have we have more than 1.7 million square meter bonded warehouse in China with different import-free routes. So it's a lot easier for new brands to actually ship from country of origin to the bonded warehouse. We have our logistic partner Cainiao to take care of all the freight concerns or for the freight needs. So they will be working with the brand hand in hand to help them ship out of the warehouses from country of origin and then to the bonded warehouse. And they can also provide like last mile delivery from the bonded warehouse to the end consumer. And they will and they are working on the last mile delivery to be limited to less than 2.2 days. So it's about like 60 hours for the orders to come out of the bonded warehouse and to the end consumer, and to give the consumers a better shopping experience. And currently, Tmall Global Bonded Warehouse is covering 80% of home delivery coverage for Chinese consumers. So once you get on board, you already enjoy all those great infrastructures, can save you a lot of the energy or upfront investment to build up something from scratch. So that's why I will say 80% of all the brands will choose a marketplace like Tmall Global to start their business instead of like building up a individual website on your own. So these are the key categories that are currently on Tmall Global. Beauty is still the largest, but we have seen a very, very strong growth on health, wellness, and food and beverage category, especially for like functional food and beverage, and they are doing extremely well in Chinese among Chinese consumers. So more and more people, I believe, are want to take good care of themselves. So they would like to try out different vitamin products for wellness, as well as to keep themselves in good shape. And for food and beverage, I think they would like to like whenever they take any diet, they want to have something extra. So not just eating a regular meal, they would like to have some probably like hydrating water products or collagen added drinks. So they are not just eating or drinking, they are like building up a better body. So that's something that they are looking for right now. So the traditional categories from each subcategories are like for food, coffee and liquor products are very popular. For wellness, supplements for fish oil, probiotics are still leading the trend. And we are also seeing a trend for outdoor recreation products in fashion category. So a lot of the people or consumers like to camp, like to snowboarding or ski. More and more people are growing outside to take those activities. So we have been seeing a trend in search for those products. All right. So now I'd like to talk about the business solutions that we have to offer to small and medium brands or to emergent brands. So traditionally, the way that we work with brands is to open a flagship store on the platform. And I believe that's the ultimate goal that I would like to achieve on Tmall Global. Flagship store is the most effective way to build your brand awareness, to build a trusted relationship with your consumer, as well as to has a better like connection with different key opinion leaders and to all those influence leaders to help them educate their followers or to introduce the brand. But at the same time, for a flagship store, it does involve a high upfront investment in order to get started. And you will be working with a local third-party company in order to help operate the store, to build up all the brand image, and to work with different social media channels in order to do the marketing. So that's a lot. If the brands or do not have that much marketing funds, a flagship store may not be the best fit for SMEs or other emergent brands. So that's why starting from 2 years ago, we had this program called Mini Store. It's like like selling a product in Target or in Walmart. It's just you are selling in a Tmall run store. So you are selling in a Tmall supermarket. So that means you automatically are facing all the active users that we have on the platform. So we have more than 700 million active users on the platform, and they all know Tmall supermarket. So you will be selling in a virtual supermarket online together with all the other brands. And you will be having a small space for yourself to display all the items that you'd like to put into that store. And also, as we do cross-border e-commerce, you do not need to change any packaging, and you can just ship the products as they are. And you will be assigned a partner team to help you launch to the store and to do the inventory planning and shipment, as well as product listing. So they will be getting all the information in English from you, and they will translate everything into a Chinese setting. So it's a lot easier to get started, and you do not need to pay for any annual fees. All you need to cover is a commission base for those partner team. So that's very minimal upfront investment for the mini store program. So you can just get started by shipping the inventories from your warehouse to the bonded warehouse in China. So the inventories and the shipping cost will be the upfront investment. that you will have to put into this mini store without any other fees at all. So it's easier to get started. But we all welcome additional marketing funds as well for this program. It is very important for new brands, especially within the first 3 months, to do some marketing activities. It is true that you already had access to all those Tmall users already, but it is a very big supermarket with all the other brands as well. So you may your brand may be lost among all the other competitors or other similar items. So we still need to do some marketing activities to help consumers get to know the brand, get to know what's good or what's the most important like advantage of your product. So that's a story that I would like to let more consumers know. So it's very important to do some of the marketing activities, to work with local key opinion leaders, and to have posts on different social media channels to educate the consumer in order to incubate the brand and to be successful in this program. And in the long term, we would like to open a flagship store for the brand if everything is going well and the sales picks up. But we will have to do a lot of the preparation work. But mini store is definitely the most cost-effective way for SME brands to get started. And I have more detailed information on this slide. So actually, so the products will be featured on a mini store page under Tmall Global Supermarket channel with dedicated followers. So you will be working with a partner team to operate everything related to this mini store. So they will also conduct a very basic marketing analysis for you to let you know who are your main competitors, what are the similar items currently in our supermarket, and what's the pricing strategy that you can get or you should do in terms of having more outcomes in the mini store. And they will also work hand in hand with you for logistics part as well, to ship inventories from country of origin from your local U.S. warehouse to the bonded warehouse in China. And in the first 90 days, they will be working with you to help more traffic, to lead more traffic into your mini store page and to provide a incubation plan for you. But additional marketing fund will be very welcome in order to ensure the success of this brand. And as I mentioned earlier, it's the most cost-effective way. It's sales-based commission program. So you don't actually need to pay anything up front. The cost will just be your inventory value plus the shipping cost from your local US warehouse to the bonded warehouse. So hopefully we have been working with different brands utilizing this special program that we have like set up to tailored for SME or emerging brands. And we have several like showcases as well. And you can see all those on our website, merchant.tmall.hk as well. And this is a brand that I would like to mention is called Jig Organic. And it's a very new brand for Chinese consumers with very clean concept packaging. So they are very dedicated and work very closely with our partner team. So a dedication from the brand is also very, very important. You can learn along the way how to sell in China market, how to interact with Chinese consumers, how to make strategic decisions based on the feedbacks that you can get from the partners, and how to build your brand image together with them. So the more you learn, the more feedbacks you have, and the more product information you provide to this brand partner will be very crucial to the success of the store. The content is really the king for social media channel marketing. So either videos, like interactive product trial videos are always the best way to help educate all those consumers, to let them see different sides of the product and how it's used in different scenarios. So the more information you can provide, and the more closely you work with the brand partners, the more likely that you can succeed in the first 90 days. So we also, for this mini store program, we do help to, our partner team will help to do the brand onboarding hand in hand with you, and to help you to do the product listing by working directly from you with you to get all the product information and translate everything to Chinese. And they will also, in the first 90 days, to try to optimize the traffic, and to work very closely with our headquarters in Hangzhou to expose your brands to more channels and to more consumers based on that. And they will be utilizing the backend data to find out what are our consumer base, what are the target audiences, and they will do more follow-up with the category leader or the opinion leader within that consumer base, to help build up a very trustworthy relationship with those consumers, and to help build a brand image based on that. And these are different marketing tools that we utilize for this mini store program. So there are different ways that we can do marketing, but content is still the most important thing. We can do KOL live streaming, we can do exposures on Tmall Global official channel, and we can do to do those IP program to launch the product in our program called New Product Launch. And we can also see work with different like government officials, or to help educate the product, to educate the consumer about the products. So as long as you have the content, you have the information, we can utilize different marketing tools to help build a very great mini store program. And I think that's the end of my presentation today. And thank you. And this is my like QR code that you can scan to add me as a friend. And you can also go to this website, merchant.tmall.hk, to learn more about our program and to reach out to me if you have any further questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fiona. That's very informative. And I think I will share some of the questions that I have received from our live as well as from the emails about our mini store programs. So some of the question coming is about the tax and tariffs. So would you please expand more how that work, through the mini store program as we are going through the boundary warehouse?
Yeah, sure. So the tariff duty benefit that we had doesn't just apply to mini store, it applies to all the cross-border e-commerce. So for mini store, you do enjoy that benefit as well. So you actually don't need to pay for any tariff duty because you're doing cross-border e-commerce. So all you need to do is to pay for the sales tax, and it's not paid until there's an order actually happening. So once you get the order, you will have to pay for the sales tax first for your product and then ship to the end consumer.
Okay, got it. That's very helpful. Thank you. And then, so you have mentioned about the onboarding process that will assign the team.
Mhm.
Does the Tmall Global platform has certain screening process for the brands or the product, or how they work? What's kind of the first step?
Yeah, sure. So I am the go-to person. So if the brand decides to get on board, so I'll be working with you to see what the brand is and what price they offer. So I will then talk with our category team back in Hangzhou to let them and to introduce the brand. Normally we don't say that, oh, we don't like this brand, we don't think that cannot survive in China market. We always want to like try different categories, different brands to get started. So normally, as long as you're ready and committed, we're ready to go.
So just confirming that, as you mentioned throughout the training, basically the brand is recommended to have the US trademark ready, and that's sort of the only sort of first requirements you get.
Right. Yes, you
with
will. Yeah, you will need to have a US trademark.
Okay.
That's a must. Yeah.
Yeah. So along with that, is there any minimum sort of quantity requirement that's need to be stored in the warehouse, in the body warehouse?
Yes, for mini store, we do require a 20,000 RMB worth of inventory. So that's about 3,000 US dollar worth of inventory to be sitting in the warehouse to start.
Okay.
So we will adjust the quantity based on the sales volume. Yeah.
Right. So is there any lead time that's so let's say currently I'm a brand that's really interested about getting on Tmall Global. How roughly, estimates how long may take me to be able to, have my product start selling on the
Yeah,
platform?
so it normally takes place between 2 to 3 months time frame. So if you, because as the first step to get on board, there are some paperwork required. There are some Excel files to fill in, and we will have to get the company's business registration or bank statement, something like that to get started. It normally takes about 2 months to finish everything, and then we will be shipping the products from country of origin to the bonded warehouse. So that'll take another 2 to 3 weeks. So I would say between 2 to 3 months.
Okay. Okay. Very exciting. So as you mentioned about the mini store program has lots of initial supports that will assign a certain team. So for the especially for the first 90 days, there's a lot of supports. And let's say if we pass the 90 days, does the brands will be able to continue working with the team? Or they have an option sort of to maybe hire or even bigger team service?
Yes, definitely. So they will, and the partner team will still work with the brand after 90 days. So if everything goes well and you'd like to move on to a bigger partner team to help you launch a flagship store, and you're really welcome to do so. But if you want to stay in this mini store, you will be still working with this partner team.
Okay. And then throughout this initial process, we're talking about the 2 to 3 months or the 90 days. Usually, how many people would you needed for the brand to work with the Tmall Global team that assigned to them?
Actually, you only need one person. Yeah, as long as
It's
he's
not so much
committed.
demanding, right? It's really about whenever there's a fighting needs or some
Right.
questions.
Right. So that will involve a lot of the night work because the partner team is in China. So there's time difference, and they will work if you're on like West Coast, they start to work at your 5-6 p.m. all the way to midnight. Yeah, so that's a lot of the night work.
Yeah.
Like related.
Yes. Okay. And then I think there's another question for more of the established brand, but new to China. With do you think is the which way will approach will be better for them initially, that's should they look for the mini store program first, or
Mhm.
should they try to work with you and just go directly to the flagship store? That's for the more developed brands.
Yeah, I think for developed products, I would suggest to go to the flagship store model directly. That's more tailored for like well-established products and brands. But also depend on whether there are any like presence among Chinese social media channels. If they
Right.
do, then definitely we will go to flagship store
Yeah.
directly. Yeah.
Okay, so for those more developed brands, especially those that already have presence, account manager agents in China,
Mhm.
is there any additional requirements for them in order to working with you guys? For example, is it excluded to have to work with certain agent or services? Yeah.
Yeah, we don't set any limitations on who they worked for this flagship store. So they can go interview with different third-party partner teams in China to make their final selection. Or even they can use their own distributor to help them do that. That's totally fine with us as well.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And I think that's all the questions, the main questions I have, and very appreciate your time tonight because I know you're in another time zone. And I think this
problem.
is a great start to
Mhm.
moving forward, and hopefully, as the both sides, Oregon and China, are working in a better relations, we're able to bring you guys to Oregon some point this year.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Looking forward to that. Thank you again for making this happen, and really excited to have more brands from Oregon.
Yeah, thank you so much, Fiona.
Thank you.
At the end of the training. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Okay, have a good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.